Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to our channel, the Eaton Squad. So in today's video is the duration of quarantine period for international passengers coming into the Philippines. This is the Department of Tourism advisory. Details coming right up. So in this advisory from the Department of Tourism, they have shown different qualifications of a particular passenger coming into the Philippines, specifically arrival of international passengers. So we will talk about that one by one, on which you guys belong, and they have also showed on this advisory that if in case your result turns out positive, or if in case you are in close contact with a positive COVID-19 patient. So let's go over the details of this advisory. So the first category are qualified for 7 days facility-based quarantine or isolation. These are for verified fully vaccinated traveler. Day 1 is date of arrival, exempt for seaport arrivals, wherein day 1 starts upon hotel check-in. On this, you will also undergo an RT-PCR test on the 5th day, symptoms monitoring during the quarantine period, and you will be discharged on the 8th day with the BOQ certificate. This category are for those travelers coming from the Green Lane countries. If you are coming from the Green Lane countries, you will only undergo 7 days facility-based quarantine in a hotel. Swab testing will be on the 5th day, and you will be released on the 8th day with a BOQ certificate stating that you have undergone the complete quarantine period for fully vaccinated travelers to the Philippines coming from the Green Lane countries. The second category are qualified for 7 days facility-based quarantine or isolation are for verified duly vaccinated or exposed or close contact passengers. These are the conditions of the following: additional 7-day facility-based quarantine with symptoms monitoring to BOQ or optional RT-PCR testing on the 5th day. Day 0 is the last day of exposure to the COVID-19 positive patient. Discharge on the 8th day with a BOQ certificate. If optional, RT-PCR testing on the 5th day resulted positive, the additional 10 days facility-based isolation should be followed. As I mentioned earlier, they have also included the standard operating procedure if in case you get in close contact with a positive patient of COVID-19 or your test result turns out positive for COVID-19. The next category are those qualified for 10 days facility-based quarantine or isolation. These are for unvaccinated, non-fully vaccinated, or unverified vaccination status. Day 1 is the date of arrival, exempt for seaport arrivals, wherein day 1 starts upon hotel check-in. Then RT-PCR test will be done on the 7th day, discharge on the 10th day with BOQ certificate. So in this category, these are the travelers that came from the country that are not part of the Green Lane because they won't be able to verify your vaccination card and stuff because they have a system that does that only to those inoculated in the Philippines. So they are very strict when it comes to that, and especially if you are a traveler coming from a non-Green Lane country or coming from the country that is not listed on the Green Lane, like for example the United States. The United States is not part of the Green Lane country, so you will have to undergo the 10 days facility-based quarantine. Swab testing will be on the 7th day. Then you will be released on the 10th day with your BOQ certificate, indicating that you have undergone the 10 days facility-based quarantine as mandated by the Philippine government. So the next qualifications are qualified for 10 days facility-based quarantine or isolation. These are for COVID-19 positive RT-PCR test passengers, except for passengers coming from the restricted countries. So the conditions of these are the following. Additional 7-day facility-based quarantine isolation. Day 0 is the date of swabbing. To be transferred immediately to COVID isolation facility. Discharge on the 11th day with BOQ certificate. So these are the steps just in case you guys did the RT-PCR test and the test result turns out positive. So the following process, as we mentioned, will be done to you when you tested positive. Another qualifications are those qualified for 10 days facility-based quarantine or isolations. These are for passengers or repatriates coming from countries with travel restrictions. The following process will be followed. Day 1 is date of arrival, except for seaport arrivals, wherein day 1 starts upon hotel check-in. RT-PCR test on the 7th day, discharge on the 15th day with BOQ certificate. So these type of travelers are coming from the restricted countries or the travel ban countries because the Philippine government is doing a repatriation program or special flights to stranded Filipinos in these barred countries. They will still be allowed to enter the Philippines, but they have to follow this process when they arrive in the Philippines. So if you guys are one of those travelers coming from the barred countries on a repatriation program of the Philippine government or special flights organized by the Philippine government, these are the process that you will have to do when you land in the Philippines. Another qualifications qualified for 10 days facility-based quarantine or isolations are passengers or repatriates coming from countries with travel restrictions if RT-PCR testing on the 7th day resulted positive. So this will be the process that will be done to you after you have done your swab testing on the 7th day and it turns out positive. Additional 14-day facility-based quarantine isolation. Day 0 is date of swabbing. To be transferred immediately to COVID isolation facility. Discharge on the 15th day with BOQ certificate. So again, on this category, these are travelers coming from restricted countries. Remember what I mentioned earlier on this, that if you that your swab testing will be on the 7th day. And when they did the swab testing on the 7th day and it turns out positive, the following that I mentioned are the process on what you guys need to do or what will be done to you if your RT-PCR test turns out positive. And the last qualifications who are qualified for 10 days facility-based quarantine or isolation. These are unvaccinated, non-fully vaccinated, or unverified vaccination status who are exposed or close contact. The following process will be done. Additional 14-day facility-based quarantine with symptoms reporting to BOQ or optional RT-PCR testing on the 7th day. Day 0 is the last day of exposure to the COVID positive patient. Discharge on the 15th day with BOQ certificate. If optional, testing on the 7th day resulted positive. The additional 10 days facility-based isolation shall follow. So I hope this is a lot more clearer now, whichever category you guys belong for arrival international passengers to the Philippines when it comes to the duration of quarantine period when you arrive in the Philippines. So I hope you guys have found your category, and I hope that you guys have found which applies to you when you arrive in the Philippines and have to undergo the mandatory quarantine imposed by the Philippine government. So if you guys still have questions about this video, you guys can comment down below, or you guys can message me directly on Facebook, on Instagram, same handle, the Eaton Squad. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family whom you know that can use this video as reference. If you are new to our channel, welcome. We do travel updates, and if you are not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you will be notified on updates like this. And to our subscribers and new subscribers, thank you so much for the continued support and trust to our channel, the Eaton Squad. I hope to see you guys on our next travel update. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless everyone. Bye!